Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today, we've got more announcements from the Game Awards, and more specifically, we are looking at the Star Wars announcement, and more specifically, the Star Wars Eclipse trailer actually came out, and this is going to be the new game that is being developed by Quantic Dream, the same developers behind games such as Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and I believe their first game not their first game. It was Fahrenheit. I think their first game goes back to the late 90s. And it's okay. No one really remembers it. Most people only remember them for Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and the more recent Detroit Become Human came out in the last few years. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this official reveal trailer that was shown live during the Game Awards, and then we'll come back and discuss. Now, guys, I don't mean to, poo-poo all over this game before it comes out, but, actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, why am I reporting on, Star Wars Eclipse right now? It's because we have a lot more information than just, here's a cinematic trailer. Get excited while we quietly cancel the game. Okay, they're just talking about the show. Okay, here we go. The game is set during Star Wars' High Republic era, which has only recently started being explored in the series' latest books. Yeah, that was a recent initiative started within just the last couple of years. The High Republic era occurs roughly 200 years before the start of the Skywalker saga at a time of Jedi strength. Though that doesn't mean evil is at rest in the galaxy. According to the game's website, it will largely be set in the Outer Rim. You'll play as a diverse set of charismatic characters who each have their own stories, abilities, and role to play in the game's larger narrative. The trailer doesn't include a release date or platforms. Just after the trailer premiered, the Game Awards host Jeff Keighley mentioned that the game is in early development. And see, here's the biggest problem with the game is that you're probably going to have like 3 or 4 different characters that you're going to play as that aren't going to be all connected together in the beginning, but over the course of the game are going to get connected. The problem is, and this was the point I was trying to get to early on, earlier before I tried to tangent off for too long, is that Quantic Dream as a developer is extremely hit or miss. You know, I'm now I've never played Fahrenheit, so I don't have an opinion on Fahrenheit. But Heavy Rain's whole gimmick was the whole your choices matter, and if a character dies, you don't get a game over screen, you just continue playing, which I'll give you, that was a good gimmick. However, once you actually get down to the nitty-gritty of Heavy Rain, the problem is that only one of those characters is actually interesting, and that was Scott Shelby, the private investigator, who would later turn out to be the Origami Killer. Oops. Spoiler alert for a game that came out, 11 years ago at this point. But still, Scott Shelby was the only character where you actually gave a damn. I mean, you know, and I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but you also had the FBI agent that was like that had a drug problem. You know, could have been an interesting character, but the problem is just fell into like the standard trope category of, you know, the hard-edged cop who doesn't play by the rules. And then you've got the emotionally depressed dad, and then you've got the journalist who won't leave anyone alone for you know, for whatever reason. And that's pretty much all you had to Heavy Rain. Ooh, big whoop-de fucking do. I do feel that Beyond Two Souls was a much better game narratively because they only focused on the one character. So you have to make that one character very compelling from start to end. You can't just spread it out over three or 4 characters with only one of them being compelling and the other 3 being serviceable at best. And I never played Detroit Become Human either, but the common criticism that I heard with that game was the fact that like you had this android versus human conflict, which the marketing did not go out of its way to hide. But the problem is with that game is that that the conflict was incredibly one-sided. Even though you played across like 3 different characters, not a single one of those characters was on the other side of the conflict. So really kind of an unbalanced narrative there. So how is Star Wars Eclipse going to fare? Personally, I don't know. Like I said, guys, Quantic Dream is extremely hit or miss. I don't mean to poo-poo all over the game, but you know, the problem with David Cage is he likes to make things too overtly complicated for their own good. You know, I'm okay with having, you know, narrative-based games where you make like 3 or 4 major decisions, and based on which decision you make, you'll get a set of completely different major decisions, and that's how you get like the 9 to 12 different endings, and you know, and that's fine. But you know, how is it going to fare with Star Wars? We're gonna have to wait and see, because again, this is only a reveal trail. We have no idea what the narrative itself is gonna be. So up until then, I'm really reserving my final judgment. But I'm also not too hyped for the game, as I said, because the only game that I truly enjoyed from them was Beyond Two Souls. I've had no interest in ever going back and playing Heavy Rain, and I've had no interest in playing Detroit Become Human. So guys, let me know what you think about Quantic Dream handling a Star Wars game. You know, is it going to be like every other Quantic Dream game where, you know, David Cage makes it just too complicated for its own good? Or do you think do you think LucasArts is going to step in and force him to constrain his quote unquote vision? And guys, that's all I've got for you. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos. So I will just see you guys next time.